Once that time goes, we're on. Hello, everybody. How are you guys doing? Thank you for joining us. It's your sis Tina Ricks, and welcome to Self Love Sundays. Today we have Dr. Harrison Jones. He is a returning guest, and we have gospel artist, gospel rapper turned gospel artist, father, and all the other likes and things, Mr. Ahmad Bell. And as you can see, that is his professional name, Victorious. So you guys ready to get going here?
Let's get going. Good to see you.
Today we're talking about
Always
dating.
lovely. Looking very beautiful this evening.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So we're talking about dating today. And I'll start with the first question. We had some questions come in, and I also added some questions because I want to make sure that there's a mental health component in this thing as well. So I'll start with the first question, and it is, how do you feel about men and women placing themselves back on the market and dating without having treated their mental health?
Dr. Jones, you want to go first?
So how do you feel about going back on the market without treating your mental health?
Yes, sir.
So if you're in a relationship with someone else, you have a mental health issue, then you decide to get into another relationship and you still have the same issue and it hasn't been addressed, but you don't address that with your next person. Well, then, definitely. You should definitely disclose that information from the very beginning. I mean, at this point, everyone has something that they're dealing with. I think now we can't afford to not be honest with each other. Even this day and age, like just being sad about something or being upset about something, you have to just be cognizant that everyone's going through something. So being upfront and being able to be honest with your partner has to be the first thing you can do. So I think you should definitely tell your partner, your friend, if there's something going on that you, from prior knowledge, that you need to go ahead and get that taken care of as soon as possible.
Okay, so you do feel that it is important for one to disclose their mental health, I guess, status, you would say, whenever you're meeting someone new. When you're meeting someone new, correct?
Absolutely. I mean, it's detrimental from the start of the relationship. It's doomed to fail. You got to think about it this way. When you get on an airplane and they state the rules for the airplane, they say, hey, if something happened to the airplane and these little things pop down, what should you do? You should put this on yourself first before you attempt to help anybody else. Well, here's the deal. I can't deal with you in a relationship if I haven't dealt with myself first.
Here we go.
A damaged, broken, messed up person. We already got baggage, like Dr. Harrison already said. People are going to come with baggage, right? But I'm bringing more of that issue to a perfectly healthy relationship. And now we have no chance to make it if I haven't dealt with my own individual self. So there needs to be some self-work done before we can have a us. And if the sum total of us doesn't make me better, I'll be involved in it.
Okay, that's good. So it's very important for us to be making sure that we're healing before jumping into something else. There are people that have something called codependency. So what they do is they go from one relationship to the next, not working on anything and bringing all of these nasty things into the new relationship that this new person has to deal with and now be traumatized as well. So, that hurt person now does what? Hurt someone else. And the cycle just keeps going on and on, right? So we have to take responsibility for healing. And, sometimes the healing may take longer than we want it to. And we might, some people may want to jump back into something quick, but that's not how it goes. And it's just not going to work. It's going to be doomed, right? It's like, it's not going to work. You have to take care of your own inner man work first before you go off trying to, align yourself with someone else. How can you align yourself with someone else when you are out of alignment? So if you get into alignment, that person is now out of alignment because you got with them when you were out of alignment and you weren't healed yet. Now you're going to point fingers at them and they're going to be like, hey, you came and were okay with me whenever we first got together. Now you're something else and you were fine with me before. And then you're going to say, oh, well, I got myself together. Well, I thought I was good enough whenever I came into the relationship with you because I've done nothing different than whatever I was doing initially. Problem.
All the way. All the way.
All the way. Yep.
Yeah. So we agree on that. So we're going to go on to the next question. Do you believe, as we said, disclosing mental health? Now that's on the mental health side, right? So you're disclosing whatever's going on emotionally and mentally. Now, how about physically? So do you believe that STDs should be disclosed? Some people believe that if they use a prophylactic device when having sex, then they do not need to disclose that they have an STD. Do you feel this to be true?
Well, first of all, you need to start talking about STDs and you need to start talking about COVID. Both of those things need to come up in the conversation because nowadays people gonna lie about whatever anyway. So you definitely need to be talking about STD. The president, you need to tell the person, yes, I have an STD. Like if you have STD, you should always disclose that. That's first and foremost. That's setting someone up for failure, especially if you're having sex unprotected. It's kind of just like setting someone up for failure that, it's just trying to put them out there and you don't want someone to catch something and then they'll come after you and they'll hate you forever. And so I think you definitely have to like have that conversation first. Like, I mean, now we're too old. Like, I mean, this is 2020. Like, what, like 1990, like when it was like cliche or whatever to get like whatever. Okay, I can see that, but now it's a part of life. So we should be regularly getting tested. You should be regularly having a conversation with your partners about STDs and what's going on in your life. Because that's just a simple way to live. We have to be smart about sex nowadays and not try to just make a fantasy out of it that it really isn't. It's just really just two people together,
Right. And Doctor, I feel the same. And it's like this. When you don't give people all of the information, you take their choice away. There's really no way that we can actually share something really intimate when you've taken my choice to decide to love you away. Because you may tell me, hey, I had this or I deal with this. And now I'm able to go back and say, hey, just like what Tina said earlier, I'm able to go back and say, man, can I handle that? Can I handle being in a situation like that? Nah, I can't. So from the beginning, I can say to you, hey, you know what? This is a little too much for me. I can't do that, right? Or I could say, definitely that don't mean nothing. We can overcome this together. And to me, that gives you now a sense of intimacy in your togetherness and y'all being together and having an us, your me's becoming us. Now I have something to stand on. It's iron, it's present, and I can say, I appreciate you for being honest with me and telling me that and giving me the opportunity to choose to be here or to choose not to be here. It's unfair when you take somebody else's choice away, because when you do that, all you're saying is look, I'm gonna hide this and I'm gonna hide that, and then now I wake up in a relationship and this ain't what I signed up for. I didn't sign up, like Tina said. I ain't signed up for this. This is different. You know what I'm saying? So
you're never gonna win living a relationship on a lie. Never gonna win living in a relationship on a lie. Everything comes to light. No matter what you do. Taking the mustard out of the cupboard when it's supposed to not be taken. Like, no matter what you do, it's gonna come out to light. You cannot get away from karma. It's always gonna come back to you. Relationships it's always gonna come back to you. So you better be honest 100% with every partner you could possibly get into a relationship with, because if you're not, it's gonna come back to you. The next one's gonna lie to you. I guarantee you, whatever you do, whatever you decide to lie, the next one's gonna lie to you and it's gonna be worse.
In other words, you feel as though, karma will come on back to you.
Oh, every time. Every time. I'm not gonna speak to you as a man, I'm gonna speak to life. Like, it happens every single time. It comes right back to you.
I think that's good. Those are two important things that people tend to overlook because they get excited. You talk to somebody new and you immediately start thinking about your future with them. Could this be the person? You envision, having this life with them, right off the bat, right? So you kind of want to skip over those like things that are going to be like deal breakers. You don't even want to think about them, right? That's immature to do. That's emotionally immature and mentally immature. At some point you have to realize, I have to, really in loving myself, I have to get this information up front.
And Tina, here's the thing too. I didn't mention this, but I thought about it while you were talking. A lot of people are scared of rejection.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And because of
to ask those questions, it's like I may be rejected for that because the person may not want to disclose that. Well, that's not a good sign.
Yeah, and you can't fear and faith can't operate in the same space at the same time. So if you really are trying to go into something with somebody, you have to have no fear in that situation and be like, look, man, I can't, and I don't want to expose or hurt you in any way, shape, form, or fashion. So because I don't want to expose or hurt you in any way, shape, form, or fashion, let me tell you what I got going on. Let me tell you that this is happening. Let me tell you.
There's a true statement that there's somebody for everybody. That there is somebody for everybody. Whoever you are, whatever you're doing, whatever it is, whatever issue you have, there's somebody for everybody. And I've seen it my entire life. So rejection really is not rejection. It's just somebody saying, you know what? This ain't what I prefer. Move on.
Yeah.
It's not something bad. It's not something horrible. It's just like, hey, you're just not compatible.
Don't be afraid to stand up for what you know is right and the right questions to ask, even if that may mean that you're rejected, because that person may feel like, whoa, like, are you like some kind of like doctor or something? Why are you asking me all these questions? This is weird. I'm just trying to get to know you. I didn't even say I wanted. They're going to go into defense mode. Anyone that does that isn't mature enough to be trying to date anyway. So goodbye. Adios.
Be okay with rejection. It's all right. It's okay. That's not what you prefer. I'm okay with that. I'm not going to change just to make you happy. Then it's okay to tell girls that. Like, I guess some guys, it's okay to tell a woman, I'm not going to change who I am just to make you happy. Be happy. It's not worth it. Not today. I mean, you're not Prince Charming ain't going to change just to like please, Beauty. Was it Beauty and the Beast? Belle? He ain't gonna change just to please her, He's Prince Charming. Why would he go down to, I'm just be good, be yourself. You're gonna be good to go. You're gonna be all right. Just stay yourself, be yourself. Don't change for anybody. Always tell the truth, and definitely when it comes to STDs and all those things, these are life or death situations. You can't just take away the opportunity for somebody to have a choice about their health.
I agree. I think we all agree. Okay, so we're gonna go to the next question, and we're getting into like more of the dating, etiquette and culture of the modern day society. People are single again for reasons that they may not have wanted. Sometimes you end up divorced and you didn't want to be divorced. You're like, I don't want to be out here. Sometimes you end up widowed. Someone dies prematurely and you're back out here and you didn't want to be. There's all kind of reasons why people end up single again. So it's not just that you want to be single, but at some point you realize you want a life partner and you got to get back in the game to get that life partner. So we'll start off. We're going to be asking questions about young adults, and then we'll also have those same questions pretty much for the 35 plus age group category, because there are two different age groups here. The 35 plus could have kids, could have been married twice. Okay.
We're still young adults though, right?
No.
How is that? What does that mean?
35 over the hill. I'm 36.
Over the hill?
Old lady age. So.
Oh, no. No. I'm not old. Okay. All right. Okay, cool. I'm not hurt.
So we're going to start with the first question. And that question is going to be advice on dating etiquette for young adults, college aged, meaning young adults like around college aged.
Well, so I have a college age son, right? And I have two that just kind of passed through this age. And one of the things that I've always said, my first thing is when you're entertaining someone seriously, look at their parents' dynamic. Check out their parental dynamic, and first focus on the mother. Look at how her mother treats her father, and then look at how her father treated her mother. And if that's something that is a healthy relationship, it's something worth investing in. I'm gonna tell you why. Because the way that her mother treated her father is gonna kind of basically be how she starts to treat you. So because she's gonna model what she saw, right? And I always have said, hey, look here, picking a good woman will take you 5 years into the future, but picking a bad one as a young man will take you 3 years back. And it take you 3 years to try to rebound from that whole situation. The second thing is this is going to sound weird, but internally check yourself. If you as a young man are not prepared to be able to deal and cover and take care of another person, if you still feel like you selfish, you don't need to be in a relationship. You know what I'm saying? Because honestly, when it comes down to a relationship, it's 50-50. It's sharing. Y'all are sharing 100% of yourself, but it takes half of your stuff to be able to propel this whole environment forward. So I would say look inside of yourself second and say, hey, ask yourself, am I ready for this? Am I still real selfish? If I'm not, and just, have friends. And there's nothing wrong with that. That leads me to my third thing is how is you guys' friendship? Are y'all friends first? Or y'all get in this big fast fantasy? Dr. Harrison was talking about Prince Charming, and that's the thing. We were taught all of these little stories that went well, Cinderella, all of them. We were taught all this romanticism in the very beginning, and that ain't real. That's not real relationship. Romanticism is not real relationship. So you need to figure out, are we friends? Do we have something that's gonna last even when we come up against opposition? Because if we don't have a friendship, a valid friendship where we can talk about stuff without it getting heated, that's not even a place I want to go. So those would be my first three things.
Okay. And Dr. Jones.
Okay.
Advice for dating etiquette for young adults.
Advice for dating etiquette for young adults. I would say, I would say set some goals. One of the biggest things I would say as a young adult is set goals. And whenever you're dealing with someone you're going into a relationship or partnership with, is that you want to have a mindset that they're on the same the goal mindset that you're on. You want to talk about networking. If you're in college and the biggest thing is kind of regret is not making those big connections in college that would have made like a huge difference in my life now that I would have made back when I was in school. So, I think big thing now is to start networking and utilizing dating as a networking sense. Don't settle down too early because that's going to, maybe change your life, change the way you do things. I would say definitely when you talk to the people that you're going to talk to, if you're going to date a girl, let them know what your goals are. Tell them what your goals are as a man. Say, this is what I plan on doing. I set 5 goals a year. Said, this is what I'm going to do. If you want to learn, if you want to be a part of that, let me know. If not, then okay. But, I think it's important now to start talking and being honest to each other as young adults and saying, hey, my goal might be to be governor of Texas. And if you don't want to be the first lady of Texas, we can't be together.
Be together,
you know what I'm saying? So we got to decide whether you're going to be with me or not. So, you can deal with me in a certain situation, but we got to be honest with each other about our goals and talk to each other. And so and build a network. Build a network, because I'm not saying how to build a network. I think everybody knows how to build a network, but learn how to build a network and never burn bridges. Always never burn a bridge. Never burn bridges. Always keep relationships good.
Good stuff. Good stuff. Okay, and why do you think it's important to build a network and not burn bridges?
Well, that's your network. It's not your network, it's your net worth. I mean, that's what City Girl said, right? Like, I'm not. That's what they said, right? That's it's not your. What's your net worth? Like you put together, like it's your network and net worth go hand in hand. So who you know is going to get you more money. The more you know, the more people you know, the more money you're going to make. And that's
Okay.
just the way life goes. So I think, if you think of life in romance and love in a different way, you can think of love as romantic. That's a beautiful thing. It's fun to fall in love. And definitely do that every time you can. I mean, always fall in love. But I'm saying be smart about it. Talk about your goals. Build a network.
Okay.
Build it. If you're gonna talk to a girl, every girl you talk to should be working towards your goals.
Excellent.
All of them, not just the ones that you get on
I'll
the
give
side.
mine.
All of them should be working towards your goals.
I'll give my advice for young adults. I would say, okay, the person I was at 20, 21 is not who I am at 36. So I would say give yourself room to realize that you're still developing. You're going to have a lot more life experiences that are going to kind of sway what type of woman or man you want. So maybe don't be super, super, super serious in your college years. Unless you just know that that's your person, and some people have that luck, blessing, favor, and they get that person, that life partner at 19 years old, and they're together forever. However, the majority of people don't. So I would say, if you're still finding yourself and still developing who you are at that age, which most people are, don't worry about it. Just date for fun, just date and make it fun, and don't, make it so serious. So have fun, go, have some food together with a group of friends, and, tell the person you're not really that serious, but you enjoy spending time with them. You're still like taking care of yourself and your goals and trying to get through, pre-nursing, pre-med, pre-law, so many pre-things at the college stage. And you really want to excel and not have your attention, diverted to trying to nurture a relationship and nurture somebody else. So I would say that. So just kind of give yourself room to grow, because you may change, and don't make this hard decision to go into something, for the long term with somebody whenever you're still changing
and developing. Yeah, I agree. And just what I was going to say about the network thing, to me, I think time is your most valuable resource that you could ever have, because once you spend that, it's over with. But the second to me is people, right? So your relationships, that's why it says, your network is your network. The relationships you establish with people are going to be very, very, very essential for moving you forward in life. So establishing those relationships and conversation, let's back up. We keep skipping over it, but we're mentioning it. Conversation rules the nation. Conversation is the thing that if we don't have in common, it's the commonality in conversation. Friends, we won't develop as friends. And when we go out in those group of people, like Tina was talking about, if I notice we don't have, good conversation during that time, man, if we can't get on the phone and talk for 5 hours about life, love, and everything else in pursuit of happiness, we really ain't got nothing else to talk about. I mean, for real, if everything we're talking about is the City Girls and Meg Thee Stallion, and talking about, the next Bergen bag that you want. I mean, really, we ain't really got nothing, because my life ain't gonna be all that. And I applaud what you said as far as when you're developing, you should never pick for where you are. You should always pick for where you're gonna be. And you should know. And that's why I said one of the things of looking at the parental group is you can see what that person's gonna look like by the time they get there, right? They're only going to be that person on steroids. Good with that? Are you good with her being mama on steroids?
It might not be. Sometimes they might change. There's been some good situations where they might have changed from what mama had dictated. So you never know.
You're right.
Okay.
You never know. Get a diamond in a rough.
Yes. That's true. So, advice for 35+-year-olds, dating etiquette. If you are divorced and have been out of the dating game for a while, what should you know about the dating climate in 2020 going into 2021?
Man, the first thing that I would say you better know is you better know who you are, right? And you should know at this moment what you want and what you don't want. And that should be communicated in the very beginning, because if you are someone who's been divorced or you've been widowed and you're left, you settled into a cush life and you have began to have this relationship. And see, I'm gonna say something. Divorce is the closest thing that you'll experience from death anyway, right? Because your whole life changes when that person leaves. Y'all had a group of friends, y'all had a whole environment that was dictated and ran around two people, and now it's just you, right? So your life changes, and you have to understand who you are and what you're looking forward to. And then you need to understand that this climate of people that you've been released back in will think like you think. They don't think like you think at all. Most of what you're going to find out here is different. I'll just say it like that. And if you're someone who your end goal is being married again, and you know that, you need to be looking for somebody who wants to be married again. If you are just someone who wants to have fun, you need to communicate that. But the first thing that I would tell somebody who they just got this day one, hey, heal first, get yourself together. Second piece of that thing is communicate where you're going to the person that you start talking to, and understand you ain't got time to waste. You don't.
Wow.
Okay. Dr. Harris? Uh-oh.
I done made him get off.
Hopefully he finds his way back. So I guess I'll go. I'll say, make sure that your needs are met, and you know how to meet all of your needs at 35+. I'm not saying that you can't get help and all of that stuff. I just think that it's a different age to be trying to get someone to take care of you. And I'm not saying that that's not possible at that age. I'm not saying that you should or shouldn't at a younger age. I'm just saying when you hit 35+, you should really make sure that you have yourself together before coming into someone else's world. Because at that age and in that age range, we're talking about people in their late 30s going to their 40s, and they probably have been in their career for 15, 20 years. They probably have had a marriage and have older kids. They probably don't want to raise you.
Ooh. Wow.
Okay?
Wow.
That doesn't sound nice, but they probably do not want to raise you. That's on the man's side or the woman's side.
Right. Yeah.
None of these hobosexual relationships, okay? Hobosexual. What is that? I cannot remember the pastor that said that, but that is not my term. When I find it, I'm gonna share it. But I was listening yesterday about hobosexual relationships. So these are people that are pretty bummy. They have mastered the skill of sex, and they're probably narcissistic. Okay, so they love bomb you. They get in and they literally turn your world upside down and control you with sex. They have nothing to offer you. They're sitting in your house. They have not accomplished much in their life besides their sex game. And you become hooked on the fact that you're getting your sexual needs met, and the person literally sucking you dry from all of the things that you've worked for, and then taking over and controlling the relationship. So your life gets turned upside down. So be careful to look out for hobosexuals in the 35+ age range.
I love it. Hobosexual. As a new term. I love it.
Okay. So Dr. Jones hopefully he finds his way back. So we're gonna, let's see, more advice for the 35-year-old plus. If you have children, that's a whole different thing. So this is whenever things just get, you've got someone with kids, you going into a relationship, the person doesn't have kids, or the person does have kids and you have kids, they're different ages, they're blending. Some live in the home full time, some don't. Once you hit this age, things start getting a little complex. So these are what we call advanced and complex relationships, where you are marrying into a family. You're getting the, package deal, and you really need to move slow with that.
Yeah,
If you see some things that are like resistant people, children, exes up front, really proceed with caution, because your ego is going to tell you that you can master this. Oh, it's okay. They'll come around. But what you realize is 5 years into the relationship, they haven't come around. You're miserable and you're like the bad guy. And the person that you got with is taking the ex aside because they have to keep with that person. And you're just sitting there like this, like referee that like you become the scapegoat. You become triangulated. Okay. You become triangulated in somebody else's mess. That's what happens. You become triangulated in somebody else's mess if you walk into something using your ego because you're eager to get back into a new relationship, and you jump into something with someone that has a lot of mess that wasn't ironed out already, and you think that you can, save the day and make it all work. And you're going to end up really regretting that decision whenever they take you to the ringer.
I'm going to say this about the kids. This is from a different angle and perspective. When you start to involve the children, and this is somebody who has children, now you have to be cognizant of the fact that you don't want to ruin their kids, right? You want to make sure, and you don't want to, from a good parent's perspective, you're going to get attached to those kids. So you need to make sure that this is a situation that's going to last forever, because now, from their vantage point, you're another teacher in their life. And are you going to teach them the good stuff? Or are you going to teach them the bad stuff? So you have to really be cognizant of somebody else. That's where maturity comes in when you're 35 plus. And if you've done the work on yourself, then you know without a shadow of a doubt that, okay, I'm ready, and I'm ready for this situation. And whatever may happen, it may be a situation where the kids don't like me in the very beginning until they understand my heart. Or it may be a situation where I fell in love with the kids and the ex is crazy. So it's one of those things you have to understand, hey man, I'm not trying to get these children. They're innocent in this whole thing. So let me think and make solid, sound decisions for the children, for myself, and for that woman or for that man. And is Dr. Jones back?
Dr. Jones, what's going on?
We're back. Can y'all hear me?
Yeah. Could you hear us?
Good deal. Yes,
could you hear us?
Yes, I can hear y'all. I can hear y'all.
Okay, go ahead and jump in. It's your turn.
Your turn.
We took like 3 turns since you've been jumping in and out.
Oh, okay. So what was the question again?
Dating and complex dating where there's like a divorce, there's maybe already be kids or just no kids, and just 35 plus dating advice.
So kids, what advice would I give for people that are 35 and over that have kids?
Or don't. It doesn't matter. Either way.
But the 35 just jumping back in the dating scene.
Just back on the dating scene. Oh, okay. I definitely say figure out what you like to eat. I think decide where's your favorite places to go eat, and make sure you determine yourself like what places that you want to go on dates to. I think you should go on as many dates as you want. Not now. First of all, socially distance yourself. If they want to go out and so they're not social distancing, they're not for you. They need to be on the X list, not a plan. But I'll definitely explore life. Decide where you want to go. Think about your favorite places you want to eat. Meet as many guys as you want or girls you want. But don't the thing about it is be consistent with the ideal or whatever you want in a person. Don't change because you like some person different than another person. Always stay consistent and be yourself. If
Okay.
you're gonna decide to date someone, don't change who you are because you see one girl likes this and another girl loves it like this. Don't change who you are for one girl because of another girl, or who you are for one guy because of another guy. I think the best thing you can do is be consistent and talk to everybody about the same things, and just have fun. I think that's the biggest deal is nowadays is like, I mean, we're in the pandemic, people are looking for love and people are wanting to like decide who's going to be with them for the rest of their life, and so I applaud that. I think, but the biggest idea is now, where's fun going to be? You have men play Xbox. Other than that, there's no other fun. So you need to decide how you're going to have fun. Who are you going to be able to have fun with for the rest of your life? Who are you going to decide that their fun is going to be with? So I think that makes a bigger idea. Like, how can you make whatever you're doing now fun and happy with your partner, your mate? But just enjoy it, There's nothing better to do now than to find the person that you can be with forever.
Great advice. Great advice. I think your advice was like lighter, and that's good, because you got to have balance. So we talked about the not so fun stuff that you got to be aware of, and then you talk about just how to just date in general. And I think saying know what you like is important because sometimes you run into a situation where a man or a woman asks you, so where do you want to go? And you're like, I don't know. Or what do you want to eat? I don't know. What do you want to eat? No, that's annoying. Just be like, okay, I love French pastries. Why don't we go have brunch at a French
Right.
just like do that. You pick where you want to go.
Yeah.
Or you at least lead the person in the right direction so they're not going all over the place. Or you have where, you go, oh, anything, it doesn't matter, whatever you want. And then they pick like this, strange place and you're not into it and they're annoyed with you because it's like, okay, but I asked you and you were indecisive. So that can cause
Ladies, listen.
unnecessary like friction, So yeah, and have
Nothing
fun.
is more attractive than that. Nothing more is attractive than a woman that knows what she wants to eat. That's the most attractive thing. When they know where they want to eat, oh yeah.
Oh my gosh.
I like that. Yeah. We going, oh, you want to go to Panda Express? All right, we good. Like, I'm telling you, Popeyes, when you know where you want to eat, it only have to be, hey, if you know where you want to eat, that to me is the biggest, hey, I'm just telling you, whatever it is, turn on, hey, know where you want to eat. That to me is like big deal. Because you're going to eat. You're going on dates. I know you go on dates. You want me to decide where you're going to eat today? You had Chinese yesterday with Tom. Now you want me to eat Chinese? You had Chinese yesterday with Tom. If you had Chinese with Tom yesterday, don't make Harrison get you Chinese. We'll go get some seafood somewhere at Red Lobster, wherever you want to go. But just know what you want to eat. That's all I'm saying. Like, get ready for it.
Okay.
Make a meal plan.
Having been out of the dating pool, again, for the 35 plus year olds, have you found that Christians are practicing celibacy, or is casual / hookup sex the norm at this point? Me, myself, I'm celibate. I'm very recently divorced, so I'm not in the dating scene. So for someone that has not been back out on the scene, what does the climate look like? Christians, I know everyone isn't Christian, but a large population of people are. So what does that look like for them? They may be time warped. We're old.
Well, I'm going to say this. I'm not going to speak for everyone and make broad generalizations. I am going to say that it depends on where you find yourself and how that word is defined, because people will say I'm a Christian, but live contrary to that whole thing. People will say they're Muslim and live contrary to that. They eating pork and talking to white women. So it's one of those things where what you can define something and say you're something, but that don't make you something. I will say that in today's dating climate, hookup and casual hookup seem to be the norm for the people that you run into. Now, me myself, I'm not into it. I mean, that's not something that I want. Sex is not a driving factor and shouldn't be a driving factor, because when you start to think about it, when you're stuck with somebody at 70, you're still not going to be thinking about, you still turn me on in the bedroom, baby. It's going to be one of them things where, like I said, conversation rules the nation. I want to be able to sit in my rocking chair at 70 and still have the same type of conversation I was having with that person when I was 35 and got back into the dating game, or 36, got back into the dating game. So,
okay. Do you find that Christians are practicing celibacy, or is casual / hookup sex the norm at this point? Who is dating? Who is dating? Are you dating? Are you dating? I need a clear answer for the people. This is my question. The people ask the question, and I'm not getting an answer.
Well, yeah, so I was getting to that. As for me as a Christian and me in my house, no. No. But as for, I can't speak for everybody else. For the people that I know, no. That answer is no. But for the people that, that are out there, I find that there is more than that happening. I mean, look at Instagram. They tell you that. I mean, Instagram, Snapchat, everywhere. We were just talking about that earlier, me and Harrison. Facebook, they getting bucket out here, man. I mean, so you can only think to yourself that everybody ain't. I'm just saying.
Dr. Jones, can you please give us some input on this question?
Well, first of all, social distancing. You should be definitely social distancing. If you're dating right now, then how can you possibly be anywhere near anyone else? And if you're not being celibate, what are you being? Like, how are you possibly having sex during the global pandemic? You can get COVID. Hope you wear the mask. I don't know if you're deciding to date right now and get new people in your life, you might get COVID. I'm just saying this from the real life. Now, if you decide to take the chance to get in COVID and you want to meet Mrs. Right or Mr. Right, you better make sure that, if they want to be celibate, you want to be celibate too. Because a lot of people think celibacy is different things. Some people think celibacy is with no masturbation. Some think you can masturbate when you have celibacy. So, I mean, then people do think sometimes you have anal sex is not considered sex. So you better be positive and sure about what you think celibacy is when you're talking about this with people that are in that realm, To me, just that conversation is important. Some people don't want to go to hell because they don't want to have sex in a certain situation. So I think you got to be respectful to your partner and let them know exactly what they're getting into as far as your choices are sexually. If you're choosing to be celibate, which is smart during a pandemic, but then you should definitely make sure you're honest with your partner about what your decisions are as far as celibacy is concerned.
Okay, I see what you're saying. I think with that topic, again, it's one of those uncomfortable things because people like to present with their representative, especially in their social circles and in their religious groups. But we find that, they creep into DMs and, inboxes and, it's quite contrary to what the public is seeing. So that's just, why some women and men were asking the question, hey, what is the climate? Are they just flirting? Or are they really trying to hook up with me? What's happening there? And is that the norm right now, or is that not the norm?
I don't know. I can't speak for men.
Right.
I don't be in the DMs. I don't know how men are hanging out in girls' DMs or anything like that. But I will tell you that there's something to, approaching a woman. If a man approaches you, then I'm sure that they're interested. So you might want to give that a try.
I guess
saying, doing a virtual try.
What we'll say
FaceTime or something like that.
What we'll say is You know, it just really depends. And communication is key. If someone comes at you like that, because that is the climate of, you know, what they've been around, their dating culture, of what they're exposed to has been, you just make yourself clear and say what you want and what you don't want and what it means to you. You know, like you were saying, you know, celibacy may mean something to one person, it may not mean something to someone else. You know, as an adult and someone who has already experienced sex, you're going to have sexual urges, period, point blank.
It's true.
So you're going to have to pick the lesser of the two evils. Now you got to understand, I'm a psychotherapist, so I'm going to keep it as real as real can be. And I'm going to say, you know, instead of putting yourself at risk, you know, because you have those urges, I think that you should probably purchase some adult toys. You know, I'm not going to go to hell for that. I'm going to save someone's life, keep them from getting an STD, keep them from having unwanted children, and keep them from getting into
toys don't count though.
They shouldn't be in. So I would say maybe some adult pleasure toys, or female, like maybe some like a vibrator or something like that. And, you know, take that edge off. You know, I'm just going to keep it real and I'm just going to leave that at that. So if you are out of a relationship and you have had sex before, you are at some point going to have sexual urges. I don't care what your religion is. That's how we have all these pedophilias and people touch men and all this stuff because they're trying to act like they don't. You're not a robot. That's how we're programmed. It's not your fault. Maybe it is your fault that you don't have your choice of, you know, sex partners anymore and your relationship has fizzled. However, you're still going to have these urges. So to keep things healthy and keep things not bringing people into situations and running through a bunch of men or women, you should learn how to please yourself and learn how to enjoy pleasing yourself, because what will happen is you'll be able to help someone. Once you do get into a serious relationship, you won't have such problems in the bedroom and you'll be able to let them know what they need to do to please you.
So last part and last thing that I would actually put out there is when right. Well, so I mean, but here's the deal. Part of knowing yourself and exploring who you are is finding out the fact that if you have discipline or no discipline, because when it comes down to controlling your sexual urges and controlling yourself, you have to have discipline in that area for a certain reason. And that reason is that, hey man, I don't want to connect to somebody and join my life force with somebody who I'm not going to be with for the rest of my life. It's just, I don't want to continue to perpetuate a cycle of this because I mean, if I was to get into that whole thing, we'd be here for hours. But the reason why I'm disciplining myself on that and that issue is because when I do get there with a person, I want to be able to enjoy it. And I want to be able to say, hey, this is my person. I'm with this person and I got a license to do it. So we're good. So me, it's all about the discipline part. Don't mean I ain't got clock out. I may go eat brownies at midnight when I'm like, God, dog, I can't take it. I'm gonna go eat some brownies. You know what I'm saying? That's people handle it in different ways. But I'm saying you have to be disciplined enough to stand on your principles. And if you're gonna be celibate, period.
Okay. You know, that's, you know, some people can't do that. So if they can't do that, they got to pick the lesser of the two evils. They're going to go on Backpage.com and sneak some ass, excuse my language, or they're going to just, you know, get some lotion and take care of themselves and go to sleep.
She said,
I mean, I'm just being frank here. This is like real life. This is real life. I'm just saying, you know, but we can move on. So do you believe the music industry is contributing to today's dating climate as it relates to the current norms and the casual sex/hookup culture?
Absolutely. Since I was waiting on Dr. Harrison, he was looking like he was about to go, but I'm just gonna say absolutely. Listen to every song. I mean, you know, City Girls, Hot Girl Summer, and you know, from the song with Meg and whatchamacallit, what's her face, just she just divorced Offset. What is her name?
Cardi B.
Cardi B. Yeah. I mean, they wow. Yeah, they're saying that, you know, that's a women's liberation. So what? I mean,
who's liberated from that?
Huh?
Who's liberated from that?
I don't know, but this is what I don't know. But yes, it's definitely, if all you're hearing about is sex, and all you're seeing is sex, what you gonna want to have? Sex.
Okay. Yes. Lyrics and visuals. 1409 podcast say lyrics and visuals definitely have an influence on the dating culture.
Because words have power. Yeah.
I mean, if that's every time you, and the thing is, it's so hard because, all different religions, hip hop is the culture for that's the main culture, stems off of hip hop. Hip hop spreads all around the world. Latin music doesn't spread all around the world. Everyone isn't dancing to that. Everyone's not dancing to Afrobeat. We're getting there. Everybody's listening to hip hop music. It's influenced every genre. Okay. And the beats are dope. And then, the lyrics are trash. So it's so hard because you want to dance. You got a whole routine going. I do like choreographed dances and stuff for my workouts. And you hear the lyrics and the lyrics are so foul. You're just like, some of them are just too foul and you just have to change the song. Some of them are like, oh, here comes this part I don't like. I'm just going to pass it up because most of it is palatable. But, people are taking that in at really young ages and they believe that that's like normal. And, us in our 30s, we didn't grow up. I mean, you had your, Uncle Luke and stuff, but, 69 Boys, but, you didn't really have like every song, like, very sexual.
What songs are people making love to now? Like back in the day, they used to have Luther Vandross, Earth, Wind and Fire, the old school R&B that people like to say that's who you put on, that's who out of Lenny Williams. Who making love to now? Is it Drake? Like, who are people putting on The Weeknd? I mean, I know who I like to, but I'm saying I don't think that there's a negative influence on dating culture. I think it depends on the people you're talking to. There's a group of people that look at the things that are being said in hip hop or songs like that and take that stuff seriously. But like he said, WAP is a liberation song for women. Like, if people don't understand what it means, like she just said, basically, I can do all of this because I'm a woman. And I mean, if nobody else is listening, I heard every word she was saying. She said, I can do everything I'm doing because I'm a woman. She kept saying it over and over again. People are, oh, she's nasty. Well, she just said, I got all of this because I'm a woman. Oh, man, the words she said made people upset. But why? Why those words make us upset? Like the president of the United States said he would grab people by it, and we act like he didn't say it for no reason, and she makes a song about it, and we act like we can't hear her say a song about it. But the president of the United States says he grabs it by that all the time. And so that song is there. It's the thing is
that music goes all around the world, and she's very popular, and a lot of young girls listen to that. So I believe, she's an adult, and we have to censor what our kids listen to. But I don't know if the music is really as it pertains to the topic of the question. I definitely think that it's contributing to the dating climate in a negative way, because it's like sex is expected after someone buys someone a bologna sandwich, so I think.
But hold up. So what I was saying, you said, what are they making love to now? Who says they're making love? And who even in this dating culture that we have, that we're putting out, you know what I'm saying? Do people even know what love is? Is love what we're calling it, or is love what we're getting and experiencing? Randomly, that ain't making love. That's another word. That ain't
that's a whole nother podcast, man.
I'm just saying. I mean, but
I hear you. So
that's a whole other topic, man. I feel you.
We got to end before we hit 60 minutes. So last thing, give some advice for people, men and women, to be aware of when looking to get into a serious relationship and they're not down with the casual / hookup sex culture of today's society. 3 things. Go. Quick. Victorious.
So 3 things.
If they're not down with that, if they're not into that culture,
So
what advice would you give them?
Yeah, first thing that I would say is, hey, find somebody who shares your interest. Through conversation, find somebody who shares your interest. Don't be scared to say no. And don't be afraid to be looked at different because you do say no. I could really say some things, but I'm not. But I've been, looked at differently because I refused, and I said no. But you can't be, I'll tell you, don't be scared to say no. Don't be scared to be viewed a certain way, and find someone who shares your interests. Done.
Okay. Dr. Jones.
Okay. So,
what advice?
Advice I'm gonna say. I'd say to be honest and upfront from the very beginning about your intentions. Very be upfront and talk to people about, this is what I want. I want to be in a serious relationship. This is all I can have, and this is nothing else would be serious about this. Now, also understand, number 2, that people lie. So I think number 2 is to also understand that don't trust everybody, and to hold your heart to where it is. Let's say keep your heart 3 stacks. That's what we told them. Keep your heart, because there's gonna be people out there that are gonna try to play you and try to act like they like you to be in a serious relationship with you, but they just trying to get into the bed with you. So you have to be sure about who you're talking to and be honest with yourself. If you allow little lies go, you're going to allow some big lies go. And all of a sudden, you're letting this person cheat on you and you never thought would ever cheat on you. So you need to start being honest with yourself and being honest with your partner. Number 3, just make sure you have fun. I say that again. Like, there's no reason for you to determine that this person is going to be the person that you're going to be with for the rest of your life, and you force something that is not there. Have fun with it. Be cool with it. Have fun with your partner. Have fun with your mate. To get in a serious relationship, you have to be able to have fun with that person. If you don't want to have a serious relationship that you can't have fun with, you have to have fun with the person that you're in a serious relationship with. So I definitely encourage you to have as much fun as possible.
Okay, thank you so much, Dr. Jones. In the essence of time, I wish we could keep going, but we got to end before we hit the 60-minute mark. So I would say my 3 things would be just, really make sure that you are working on yourself and that you are meditating and getting in sync with your higher power or whatever your source of, intuition is, and make sure that you are, attracting spirits that are like yours and checking spirits, discerning, checking people's, energy, vibrations, all that kind of stuff. Make sure that it's synced up. If it's not, then it's probably not going to work. Like he said, they may be lying, and you can feel that energy. Don't go off of what's coming out the mouth. Go off of the actions and you're actually feeling. Okay, that's really important. All right, we don't have time for more because we got to go ahead and wrap. I want you to talk about. I'm just going to do it for you because I already know what your thing is. So he has a published book out that's called I Used to Hate School. He's also Dr. Harrison Jones IV, and you can find him under those names and under the name of that book. And then we have Victorious. Victorious is a gospel artist, rapper, really great music. He has a song that's out about just 2020 and all the different things that have happened this year. Look him up on YouTube, on Facebook. Got great stuff, and hopefully he'll be coming back. So Dr. Jones will be coming back too. I'm Tina Ricks. I am a film director, licensed psychotherapist, mental health clinic owner in 3 different cities here in Texas. And we're also online, and we also treat people from all over different states online as well. I also do coaching. I also am a nutritionist too. So we got all that going on. I also sing. So next year we have a project coming out, music project coming out with some visuals to the music. Then we also have the 8-part docuseries, Music and Mental Health, and episode 5 is coming out really soon, probably this week coming up. All right, we are basically out of time. I just want to say peace, love, and light. We'll see you next Monday. We are completely out of time. So sorry. We got to go. Bye.